So I figured I would make a video about changing the incandescent bulbs in some of the Tektronix plugins for the 5000 series scopes to LEDs. I bought this dual differential amp, and the bulbs on the first channel were burnt out, so I decided to just go ahead and change both. Now, I've already changed the first channel, so I thought I would do a video on how to actually take the board out. It's very simple. So the first thing you need to do is remove this is the position knob. There's a coupling here. You undo the set screws, and there's another set screw on the other side, and then it will pull right out. So the next thing you need to do is take out the switches that attach it, the screws that attach it to the cam switch. So there's 4 of them. Just want to be careful. Take out that capacitor. They really put it in the way. Let me get my smaller screwdriver. Okay. And these 2 up here. Okay. Now before I take out the last screw, I'll show you where that is in a bit. There's another thing you have to do. So Tech was nice enough to make the inputs. So you have to detach the inputs. So this is the main board. The board we're taking out is under there. So if you just take a pair of pliers and just very carefully pull those out. They're actually on connectors. Very nice. So there's those 2, and then there's a, let me see if I can get it. There's a pin header right here. Take that out, and then there's a bolt here. Now you got to be careful because the spacer for this, that spaces it off the main board, is not attached to anything, so it'll come loose. So I just take the spacer that goes under. Okay, you have to also desolder this here. I've already done that from the switch. There's a ground strap. Now when you take it out, you'll notice there's this plastic pin here and a plastic pin over there, right there. And you have to be careful that you make sure that you clear those. So if you tilt the back end up so that you're clearing those, and then move the switches out. Oh, and this side has the latch. Okay, and those little cables underneath are just snagged. Just grab them. Okay, and the whole board lifts off like that. And now you can get at the lamps. To take these lamps out, it's very easy. You just slide them off. There's a little piece of plastic there, and the lamp is in there. Now the LEDs I find that work best for this are the straw hat LEDs, because they cast a lot of light in different directions instead of just forward. So these are great. So these are actually like a yellowish color, and from the front they actually look really good. I run them, they're quite high efficiency, so I run them at about 5 milliamps, and that is plenty to make it just bright enough that it's illuminated in daylight, but it doesn't make it hard to read the skirt, the number on the skirt of the knob. So you want to make sure you find that balance. Now, the other thing you have to remember is Tektronix used a light bulb. And that means that their light bulb draws more current than the LED in this case. And the way Tektronix does a switching for the probe coating, which is what they call the ×10 × 1 light, there's a separate ring on the BNC, and that's for identifying whether it's a ×10 or a ×1 probe. Now that only works with the Tektronix probes that have a little pin that sticks out for that. So when you put the LEDs, you have to make sure that you mimic the fact that there's a load. There it is. So this is the common, and then you have the ×10 and ×1. So in order for the transistor's switching logic to actually light and change the LED, you have to put a load. So I ran one of the bulbs that actually was still working, and I ran it at the 5 volts of the supply, and it draws about 50 milliamps. So 220 ohms should give you about 20 milliamps ish, plus the 5 milliamps I'm running the LEDs at. There's the resistor there. And only one LED is ever on at the same time. That'll give you 25 milliamps, and it seems to be happy with that and switches from ×10 to ×1 indication, no problem. Now, if you don't care about the ×10 indication, because I mean, unless you have the probes that actually have the coating on them, you'll never use it. Then you can just wire the ×1 without a load resistor. You just wire it and it'll always stay on. But for me, I like to keep the functionality of that ×1 ×10, so I did this. So now I've changed to the LEDs. I just put them in the same holder, stick them on, and wire them up. And on the other side, I've got my load resistors. So we're ready to go. And that's what it looks like. So you can see I've already changed them on this module a while back. So now they match. This module is a pain in the ass to get to the lamp, so I'm not going to change them until they burn out. But as you can see, they're legible. And if I short the ring, there you go, it switches just like it's supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead, put that position knob back on the covers, and call it a repair done.